Hey there, this is Stephanie Washer, and I'm just gonna walk you through how to go through the CISNetlabs. It's one of our options that we'll have for our Cisco hands-on labs. And you'll notice that I'm in one of my classes, and CISNetlab link will be here. We will have the links everywhere for you to see them. It's just cisnetlab.rockvalleycollege.edu, and you can see there will be instructions that'll accompany it. When you click on CISNetlab.rockvalleycollege.edu, it will pop up to the main logon screen. So we've got our landing page here, and our password or our username is going to be S, and then your S number, and then whatever your S number is. I just chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the password is password01 with a capital P. So we have that, and we will see. You need to choose a new password. So when you log in for the first time, you will choose a new password. And double check your email address. Make sure that's correct. And you're going to want to change the time zone. So the time zone is important because you'll be scheduling labs and you want to make sure you have the correct time. And I just like to have everything in a normal, what I'm used to looking at. So if you're used to 24-hour or 12-hour, choose whichever one. I'm also going to choose, I think I'm going to choose Monday for my first day of the week because all of the assignments are due on Sunday night. So Sundays are going to be a hot day for everybody to do the labs. Just keep that in mind when we go through this. Now we're on the schedule lab reservation screen. The screen has a couple of different options. We've got our new lab reservation, we have our schedule, we have our view. Really, all of this information I don't use on this screen. I'll use it in the next. But you can see your configuration files, your configuration history under view. You can schedule for here as well, and then you can, if you need to change your settings, you can. But what I like to do is I just like to go to new lab reservation, schedule a lab for myself. I am going to choose PCT 122 because this is the Cisco lab. The 113 is a different lab setup. So PCT 122 is Cisco lab, and it's actually Cisco 2. So those of you in my Cisco 2 class, this will go really well with it. Then, whatever lab is assigned, so right now I believe 2225 is one of the labs configuring IPv4 static and default routes. So these are hands-on labs only. The packet tracers are still exactly the same. Everything is still going to be the same for them. So I'm going to click on 2225 static and default routes. Then it pops up with a schedule. You can schedule ahead of time. There's 2 different pods. You can schedule, this is for today, the 23rd, or you can schedule like a week out. Say you know you have time. If you schedule a little bit further out, make sure you use that time. We do not want you to block off time that you're not using, because then that means that another student may not be able to get in because we only have 2 pods. So there's only so much equipment. Then when you schedule, if you want to do your lab right away and there's no one on, you can click as close to that line as possible. So you can see 10:41, it's not the exact same time as on my screen, but 10:41 a.m. And then I would give yourself more than 38 minutes. Go to a couple hours. You have up to 4 hours to schedule the lab reservation. So right now I'm going to schedule this one for 3 hours and 8 minutes. You do not want to cut yourself short, because if the lab automatically closes on you, it's not a fun thing to happen. So we don't want that to happen at all. And then you'll hit submit, click OK. And then you'll notice you can enter the lab. So whether you have it scheduled out or you're using it right now, if it's your time to use it, you can click on enter lab. And it's going to initialize, and it's going to go through the whole pod. And these are, we've got 2 routers, 2 switches, and 2 PCs here. These are real equipment. The routers are real equipment. The PCs are actual VMs. They're all set up in a room. I wish I had a picture of it. When we get back to school, I'll take a picture of it so everybody can see. But it's just a 3 server setup with 3 switches, 3 routers connected to these servers. So it's really interesting. It's a really great setup. So this is the actual lab. So when you're looking at your workbook, these are the lab. This is what the topology actually looks like. And all of this is clickable. So if I wanted to go to R1, I can click on R1. Right now, it's not exactly, you know, it's real equipment. So it's taken a while to pop up. And if I hit enter, it says over here on the side, device R1 is ignoring your keyboard input because the system is performing an automated operation. So now you can see it's actually booting up to the, you know, it's to the point where you can see things. So switch 1 is probably similar. Yep, it's booting up. PCA, yeah, you'll notice that we didn't activate Windows, but this is Windows 7. We'll be updating these labs probably for fall. And we don't have to, we can activate, I'm just going to close out of all of this. So all of that Windows activation stuff you can close out of, and then you've got your desktop. This desktop has got a lot on it, but we have everything that we need for Cisco 1 through 4, and then CCNP courses that we used to teach. So we have a lot on there. And you can play around in it. You know, we've got PuTTY on here. We've got TerraTerm. We've got many different things. So, you know, you can go ahead and play around on this too. You're not going to break these, so don't worry about it. This is still booting up. Yep, it's still booting up. So we have our topology. So here's the buttons across the top. We have our topology. We have our content. So here's our actual lab that's designed specifically for NetLabs. And you can download it. If you have dual monitors, you can download it and put it on another screen if you wish. There's status. You can see that there are 3 routers, 3 switches. We're only using 2 and 2, and they're still initializing. And you can see how everything is going through its thing. There are arrows over here on the side, and you can actually do password recovery, different options through these arrows. I never really use it, but you can look through and see those things. And then we have our devices. So you can either click on them through the topology, or you can click on them through the top of menu bar here. And you can also do the options by clicking on the arrow and doing what you need to do through there. And you can actually, you can power on and off this equipment. It is super cool. Jim and I really like this lab setup. It went through and it did, so I just hit enter, and it went through and it added everything that NetLabs does by default. So, and you'll notice that logging synchronous is one of the options that it uses, which is really nice. So once you're in the router, it's business as usual. You can go in. I'm just gonna do a quick. This one's R1. Oops, not exclamation. Oh, sorry. Helps when I'm not rushing through things. Hostname R1. So you notice it changed it. You can go into your, I think it's G. It's fast Ethernet, so you have to use F instead of G. So on R1, it's fast Ethernet. And I'm going to Control Z out because you can do a show IP INT brief to show you that this is fast Ethernet and then our serial number. So if you type in G and it's incorrect and gives you an invalid input, you can just go back and do show IP INT brief, and it will show you all of those. If you didn't want to Control Z out, you can actually type in do in front of show IP INT brief, and it will show you that from any area you're at. So that's everything for the topology. The switch is exactly the same way. And we'll just do this real quick, and then switch 1. I'm gonna do switch 1. Okay. And as you all know, I'm really lazy and I never type anything out fully unless I'm teaching. So I just changed that to host 1, and we've got all our PCs. Both PCs are up and running. So we've got R1, R3, switch 1, switch 3, PCA, PCC. So we've got all of those up and running. So, and I would just always go back to the topology and click on whichever one you need. So that'll keep you organized. Up in the upper right hand corner, there's home, there's pod, and under pod is erase all devices, load all devices, save all devices, and then there's reservation. So we've got reservation, and you can add time, you can change your exercise or end reservation now. If you finish this exercise and you want to change to the next one, you can do that by clicking on change exercise. If you are done with everything for the week or the day, you can click end reservation now. And we ask that you do that because it is just being courteous to others so that others can use it. Because if we only had 2 pods, and it would be really nice if people weren't sitting on the pod not using it. So that's just all we ask. So if you hit change exercise, all it does is go back to the screen, and let's do the troubleshooting and then submit. All you have to do is just change to a different, I just clicked on a different one. And it's going to have to go through the process again for switching it. And it takes a minute, and you can see now we have a new screen. So this is what the troubleshooting lab looks like. So it's changed it, it changed the content for you, and then, you know, it even matched the names that are on the lab. So you can see all of the names instead of R1, R2, R3, they match what's on the lab. So it's really nice. And I suggest that if you want to use it, you're more than welcome to use it. And then for my class, all you have to do is say completed in CISNetlabs, and then go to the assignment and submit. I completed this in CISNetlabs, and then I'll go grade it here because it gives me all of your information and what you do on here. So, and that is it. That's everything. If you have any questions, email your instructor, whether it's Jim Conley or myself, and let us know if you have any issues, or it would be great to know if you like it too. So have a good day and good luck with CISNetlabs.